Hi. So I'm going to do the first question. What qualities are important or are laid out in this introductory account of Shield Chieftain are important for a good king to possess? And starting out reading, one of the first things I noticed was that he comes from a humble background. Line 6 says the terror of the Hall troops had come far. A foundling to start with, he would flourish later on as his powers waxed and his worth was proved. So he didn't start out of noble birth. He started out a foundling, a child who was abandoned and was raised by someone who weren't his parents. And that's interesting to me because it doesn't seem like a quality that this kind of culture or society values. I mean, it seems very American. It seems like it's the American dream to start with nothing and to end with riches and power and all this sort of stuff. So I'm not sure. Maybe that's just a coincidence or something, that this guy Shield started out with nothing and he ended up with being the king and having everything. Another thing I noticed was in line 4 and 5 that he is called the scourge of many tribes, a wrecker of mead benches, rampaging among foes. So he's a mighty warrior. That's obviously very good quality for a king to have, be a mighty warrior, be able to win battles and not, have you or your warriors die. So I guess a third quality that I noticed was good offspring. That's obviously a very good thing for a king to have because your offspring are the next kings or queens. And so on line, let's see, 12 is it? It says, afterward a boy child was born to Shield, a cub in the yard, a comfort sent by God to that nation. This son is named, let's see, Bao. That's the name of his son, and his son, the young prince, line 20, must be prudent like that. And he's talking about how the son gives freely. Let's see, in line 21, the prince gives freely while his father lives, so that afterward, in the age when fighting starts, steadfast companions will stand by him and hold the line. So the son is basically already gearing up to be a king before the king is gone, before this prince is a king. And so a good quality of a king is to have a wise and a prudent son. Line 24 says, behavior that's admired is the path to power among people everywhere. And I would guess, I would infer that behavior was the behavior of the king was admired as well as the behavior of the prince. So what's another good quality for a king? Behavior that's admired. So, and if your behavior is admirable, people are more willing to follow you. Fourth thing I noticed on page 4, let's see, lines 28 and 29, something very interesting to me. Talking about Shield, his warrior band did what he bade them when he laid down the law among the Danes. They shouldered him out to the sea's flood, the chief they revered, who had long ruled them. So this is talking about after Shield is dead. They give him a very for this society, it's a very honorable funeral. They put him on this boat, and on this boat, line 36, far-fetched treasures were piled upon him, and precious gear. So on this boat, they put a bunch of really nice treasures, really expensive stuff, and they push him out to sea. And so that's a very honorable funeral for a person of this day. So I guess more than just a nice funeral, what sticks out to me as being an important quality for a king to possess is obedience from one's adherents or one's subjects, even after death. Even after death, this Shield's men and his people still respected him. They still loved him, and they wanted to honor him. So that's definitely another quality that I see. So yeah, those four things are what I noticed about Shield. And his son, Bayo, or Bio, I don't know how to pronounce it, he ruled in much the same way, with much the same success as his father. Then after Bayo came Hrothgar. The fortunes of war favored Hrothgar. Friends and kinsmen flocked to his ranks, so he's the kind of leader that just people follow him. And he's, good at war. He's probably a mighty warrior, wins battles, and he handed down orders for men to work on a great mead hall. The mead hall is like the town center of this culture, and it's a place where the king would give out rings, like favors, I guess, to his subjects. And so he came through with this mead hall, and this mead hall is for the people. It's a gift almost to the people. And Hrothgar says on, line 80, when it came to these favors that he would give out as the king or as the leader, it says, nor did he renege, but doled out rings and torques at the table. So he didn't just say all this to, he didn't just make these campaign promises or whatever to become their king or their leader. He actually went through with it. He's a man of his word. He has a good character. So in that sense, Hrothgar, who is Shield's grandson, in that sense he has the same sort of quality as a king as his grandfather. But in the days to come, Hrothgar's luck, as it will turn out, is not as good as those of his father and grandfather, as a demon is haunting their land. Now on to Beowulf, if I can find him. So Beowulf is this hero who comes to sort of a foreign land because in his day, let's see, on line 197, it says, in his day, he was the mightiest man on earth, highborn and powerful. So, in one sense, he's a lot like Shield. He's a mighty warrior, best there is, very powerful. But in another sense, he's highborn. He's he's of a noble birth, whereas Shield, you know, he had a more humble birth. He started with nothing, and he through his diligence and hard work and his strength, he had everything. He started to have everything. So Beowulf is not like that. Beowulf is highborn. He's of noble birth. So whether which one's more noble, which one's more honorable, I'm not sure. One thing I noticed, I'm not sure if it means anything or not. Line 202, I'll start there. It says, "Nobody tried to keep him from growing. No elder denied him, dear as he was to them. Instead, they inspected omens and spurred his ambitions to go, whilst he moved about like the leader he was, enlisting men, the best he could find. With 14 others, the warrior boarded the boat as captain, a canny pilot among coast and currents." So this at first struck me as Beowulf has to go around and enlist people. Men don't just follow him. But I wonder why not. If that's the right interpretation of this, that he has to go around enlisting men, why is that? I mean, he's the mightiest man on earth. It seems like people would just want to be on his side in whatever conflict there is, because it's guaranteed that you're going to win. But maybe that's the wrong interpretation. Maybe he just has to go around and search for the best of them, and that's sort of where I'm leaning right now. 206 or 207. He's enlisting men, the best he could find. So ultimately, he leaves his home shores with only 14 others, and he's the captain, of course. So I'm gathering that men do follow him. That's a quality of a good leader, a good king, that men follow him, and he has the prerogative to pick the best of them to be his warriors. So that's much of what I could find for now for that question. I guess that's it.